Good afternoon. My name is Tanya Amos, and I will be doing my journal article with Competency 7, Assessing Individuals, Families, Groups, Organizations, and Communities. In the work that I do and in my practicum, assessment is one of the most important competencies because it allows us to be able to learn more about the clients. It allows us to be able to find out what level of care that they need to be placed in. It also allows us to find out what type of services they may need. If they need a birth certificate, if they need a social security card, if they need an identification, we're able to find out those things in assessments as well. Um, I've been doing assessments for the past 6 years, and they are ever changing. Um, we will find out that one assessment might work for this individual, but we're going to need a different assessment for this one. And it's the same thing for like substance use disorder. They need to be assessed differently than, say, somebody with a mental health disorder, where we might use a PHQ-9 or a PHQ, a PHQ 9 or the GAD-7, and those help to gauge anxiety and depression. We also use assessments such as the BAMR, which allows us to see where they're at right now. And then when we repeat it, it lets us know where their progress is or maybe their regression. And that's also sort of how we determine and assess our program or organization. If we have a lot of clients that seem to be regressing around a certain area, we may want to look at implementing a new intervention or a new strategy for client services for best practice. Assessments also go more into it, like with in the community, being able to assess the right location, being able to assess what community resources are available for our clients, being able to assess and find out what other collaborative services that we're able to use so that we're able to best help our clients. Um, I've been doing this in my practicum. I am learning again that um, some people do need different assessments, but we have to do the initial assessment before we're able to find out if that client might need a different type of assessment, or maybe we might need to collaborate with somebody in the community that might do the assessment that maybe we don't offer, or that we're not it's not in our scope of practice to offer. And then we would get that person in contact with the person that can provide them with the services they need. So my strengths with assessments is I'm really good at active listening. I'm also good at deducting things from what the clients tell me. Sometimes the clients will not give you all the information, but they will maybe in another question, and they'll sort of walk around the subject. So continuing to let them talk and using active listening will really allow me to be able to get a whole picture of who the client is and what services that they really do need and that they really want. Let's see, my limitations, um, things that I need to work on. Some of the things that I need to work on probably is some of my follow up. My follow up sometimes slacks. Um, I do have a million things to do, but follow up is really important. So if I find that there is an assessment that needs to be done and I take note of it, it might take me a minute to get to that person, or I might have to be reminded by looking down on my list. Oh, I forgot to follow up on that. Let me take care of that now. So that's something I'm really working on right now. Um, my experiences have been challenged at a master's level social worker because when I came into this program, my mind was really just focused on what I do with substance use disorder and co occurring disorders. So I've really had to open my mind that is social work is very broad. It's not just what I do. there are many, many forms of ways that social workers multitudes of people, and it doesn't have anything to do with what I do. They may not have mental health diagnoses or substance use diagnoses, but they still need help from a social worker. So that's what I'm learning the most, really. Um, I have received really good feedback from my supervision. One of those was that I need to look at social work as a whole, and not just in my own little box where I work. Um, and my thoughts and feelings towards my progress. I think I'm doing well, um, but it's getting towards the end of the semester, so I'm a little nervous about what the future might hold with this new degree and where it might take me. Um, I love master's program. I've learned a whole lot in this program. I love working with my instructors. They've been great. They've answered all the questions that I've needed. Um, but again, I'm just a little nervous. I don't want to harm anybody. I want to make sure that I'm providing the most quality care that I can with the most knowledge that I can. Um, and we do have ADEI practices at our agency. If we have somebody that comes in and maybe they can't read or write, we might get them an audio book for the stuff that we um, assign them to do, such as the big book, because we are an AA based program. So we might get them an audio version of a big book. We make accommodations for people that have linguistic barriers, where we're able to use a translating app to be able to understand what they're saying, and so they can understand what we're saying as well. Self care. I have not had a lot of it still. I am taking moments to do little things. Like I did finish my book that I read for fun. It took me about 8 months, but I got it done. And this morning I went and laid on my couch and I watched a show. And it was quiet, nobody was awake. And that was self care for me as well. Oh, and I also went and got my nails done and talked to a good friend for 2 hours. So that was some pretty good self care this week. I do anticipate. I mean, barriers. Right now, I need to be hitting the ground running with studying and studying for the CSW exam. I'll be signing up for on March 27th. We've got new accreditations coming in this week at work. So I see a huge barrier of self care this week. But what I plan to do is when things get too stressful, is I'm going to go into my office and I'm going to pause for a moment and I'm going to pray. And that's going to be my self care for that moment. Um, yeah. And I think that's about it. I hope you have a really good day. Um, yeah, have a really good day.